Hey, everybody, this is Kevin,
Hey, it's Frank.
and we're continuing on with our fifth episode of the Guitar of the Week program. We're going to just keep trudging along here, talking about all the guitars we had to make during that era, so stick around.
Go behind the Headstock with Kevin and Frank, two ex-Gibson employees talking about guitars and the guitar industry with an inside perspective.
All right, so we're picking up from week 25, and this is a Les Paul Studio with BFG Electronics.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go.
There you go. I think that I may have helped this one along because I remember for quite a while, I used to put a P94 pickup in the neck position of my Les Pauls.
Okay.
You know, sometimes the neck pickup would get a little too mushy for me.
Too
So,
muddy. Yeah.
and I'm a big P90 fan, so I dug that combination.
Right.
But I think at this point, Frank, we didn't make the P94 anymore. That was actually licensed through someone who was at Music Meyer, M&T.
A German guy. Yeah. From
Yeah, his
Germany.
name was Wolfgang. He
Yeah,
invented the P94. Yeah, great guy. But anyway, I think that's probably where we got this idea from. Instead of putting it on a regular BFG, we just went up a notch and went to a regular studio.
I mean, people like the sound of the BFG, but weren't into the look of it. They could
Right.
get that tone with the kill switch, you know, and that the same electronics. Only nice. We put a cover on the pickup, and you know, we made it nice. So yeah, it's just a nice BFG, really. You know,
It's funny because I really didn't remember this one, but I went, yeah,
when
I guess
I
we
see
did
it
do
now,
that.
I remember it. Yeah.
Right. All right, let's keep moving here. Week 26.
The classic white SG61.
Yep. So again, like earlier, we showed the ebony 61 SG that we hadn't really done before. So hey, why not do a white one, right? I was always a big fan of white SGs.
Right, it's beautiful.
And I don't know, Frank, if we really did 61 SGs in this is classic white.
We didn't do a 61 SG in anything but cherry.
Right.
And so the problem was we had bodies that didn't make it for cherry. And once you got the body, what are you going to do with it?
Yep.
If it can't go, you know, so that's where the ebony helped us out with production. And once again, this did the same thing. You know, there was no such thing as a C grade SG61 body.
No.
Right. So if they didn't make it in, you know, grading, if the body cut out and there was a flaw or something that didn't look good, then what did we do with it? It's set over there in that pile on body line like we talked about.
Yep.
And this again was another prime example of, hey, what can we do quick that we don't do? And this is it, you know.
Yep.
Had cases made for them already. Everything was there.
Yeah, everything was there. All the parts were there. Yeah, it was just color.
Yeah.
Now the other funny thing was, and you'll remember this, you know, we were kind of going through a laundry list of our guitar heroes and what they played and tried to make examples of those guitars in the Guitar of the Week program. Like a lot more of them start showing up a little later. But when I saw this one again, I went, yeah, you know, there was always I don't know if I'd call him a guitar hero, but there was definitely someone from a famous movie that I always liked that he played a white SG, and it was Derek St. Hubbins from Spinal Tap.
Yeah, there you go.
Right? So I'm sure at some point I'm like, dude, let's do a white SG, but not the special. We'll do the 61.
Right. Yeah, why not?
Right?
Derek, yeah. I saw Spinal Tap.
You did live?
At Starwood live, yep.
Oh wow. Like the reunion tour?
It was like the original tour when they were playing.
Wow.
They were doing all kinds. It was all the guys, you know. I forget who played drums, but you know,
one of them.
But yeah, the new movie's coming out too. That's going to be awesome.
I had no idea.
They've already got it shot.
Oh,
Paul McCartney's in it. And all the original guys are back. Rob Reiner's doing it. You know.
Wow.
It's
like
that's
great news.
Yeah, it's already been shot in New Orleans. They were filming it. So yeah, I heard it's already, like been shot. So this summer, look for Spinal Tap.
Ah, we should have a watch party. That'd be fun.
Oh, for sure.
Right?
For sure. Yeah.
All right. So let's keep moving on. It's a sexy SG right there.
Yeah, no doubt. Mahogany. Is it a classic antique? Was that again? I need to look at the headstock to know for sure.
You know what? I got to tell you, finding pictures of this one was a little hard.
Yeah, I'll bet. I think it's a classic antique.
I think you're right, because we did so many classic antiques.
With a mahogany top and a cherry. Man, pretty guitar.
Yeah, beautiful, right?
Yeah, I added this picture. The combination of the ceramic pickups and the all mahogany kind of balanced itself out a little bit.
Yeah.
The ceramic pickups could get a little shrill at 500T every once in a while,
Yeah.
So yeah, it was a nice combination.
Yeah, I think I said in the other episode with the mahogany top, I'm not a big mahogany top guy, but you can't deny that's beautiful.
Yeah, I mean, that's a classic Gibson look. Come on,
Yeah. It's pretty sexy.
Yeah.
All right, let's go to 28. So we did a couple of these bugs through the year for Guitar of the Week, and this kind of introduces the Les Paul Classic Custom Antique Ebony with P90 pickups, which I happen to have one of them right here. Hey,
Really? Oh.
Now what's funny is, what's the serial on this? I don't think this is the prototype, but the cool thing is, boy, it's dusty. We double antiqued that.
Oh, yeah, we poured it on heavy. Yeah.
Look at that. Isn't that sexy? It's beautiful.
Yeah.
But
I remember Mickey didn't like it because of the two colors of the binding.
Yep.
When you scrape the antique off the face of the binding, it was a different color. And they were like, that looks bad. In fact, I think Jamie made us start buying antique binding.
He did.
Colored binding. I think we had to start buying colored neck binding. And it might have been because of that guitar right there.
Oh, interesting. Well, there's some more story to this guitar. Well, again, I'm a P90 fan, and at that point, we were already making the classic custom.
Right.
So we did a P90 version, and another one we'll see a little later. But I don't know if we want to spend a whole episode on it, but the whole reason this guitar was even invented, the classic custom, which originally I was calling the custom classic.
Oh. But you couldn't call it a custom because we weren't allowed to, right?
Correct. It's the custom shop petitioned to Henry for us to change it to classic custom because we were putting a 60s neck on it.
Right.
Which customs didn't have. And I went, all right, that's fair. That's fair. But we'll get into it later. The custom shop kind of got us banned from making Les Paul customs for a number of years.
Well, we talked about that in the early episode.
No, we talked about gold tops being taken away.
Yeah, but we mentioned the custom too because we.
Oh, we did? Okay.
Yeah.
It's all running together, Frank. So anyway.
Yeah. Well,
we'll get into more detail on that, but yeah, that was us. Well, again, and we mentioned in the last episode, we were constantly asked by dealers and distributors to make a cheaper version of just about everything, right? Can you make a cheaper version of the custom? Can you make a cheaper version of the standard? Can you make a cheaper version of everything?
Right.
So I actually worked with Nori from Yamano. I don't know if you remember him.
Mm-hmm.
After a while, Nori was in the office. I go, okay, let's figure out a cheaper custom. So we only bound the top. We did the trapezoid inlay instead of the abalone blocks. Did a little bit of different inlay on the headstock, and it looked like a custom. But when you really look deeper, it wasn't a custom, and especially putting that 60s neck on it made it a whole new model.
Sure. Yeah.
Anyway, by the way, that guitar sounds great.
Oh, I'm certain it does.
It's like a Motown funk machine.
Cool.
It's great. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, the middle position sounds awesome. I'll bet.
Yep. Yo, it's beautiful. I've kept it all these years. All
Yeah.
right, week 29. Oh boy.
Oh, here we are.
Everyone's favorite model.
Yeah. What a meeting that was. Yep.
You were in the
Sitting
meeting.
Yeah, I was there.
All right, take us
I used
there.
to have a piece of paper that Henry drew. So Henry says, I want a reverse flying V. It's like, what do you mean reverse? You know, because Firebird reverse, right? So you put the different wing on, you know, blah, 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 right? So I'm like, what do you mean reverse? And he's like, backwards. And I said, I don't understand what you mean. And he took a piece of paper and he drew that out. And I think it was my idea to use the old Futura headstock or whatever that was from.
Yep.
I think that was from an old Futura or something.
Love that. Yep.
But and then we used the old V plate putting backward from the Carina original V,
which is such a great touch. We easily could have put a stop bar on there, but that is way cooler.
Right. And dude, sitting down and playing this guitar, it was probably the most comfortable guitar to sit down.
You know,
because that long side where the toggle switch is laid right in your lap, and the neck was at the perfect angle. It's amazing. If you sit down and play that guitar, it's phenomenal.
And I remember they sounded great.
Yeah. Yeah. We tried to make it look like Carina. It's all mahogany. But Chris Roberts, our finishing guru at the time, he's like, well, we could put white filler in the mahogany, and then we paint it amber, and that makes the white look yellow like the Carina did.
Ah.
So that's where it came. We put white pour filler in, and then sprayed it with amber paint, and it made it look like a Carina piece. And because we tried to get Carina, but that was just so hard to do.
Well, the other thing was we did get shot down on that.
What's that?
I remember Henry shooting at that. I said, no, that's for custom shop.
And Carina was too hard to get. You know, the yield.
A-grade.
The problem was the yield was so terrible. You ordered like a truckload of wood, you got enough to make 10 guitars out of it.
Right.
You know, it was just so inconsistent. So we had to make 400. So we had to have something we could get enough wood. And mahogany wasn't a problem.
This was probably the most controversial model of the entire series.
Oh yeah.
So divisive.
Yeah.
I believe we showed this at the 2007 Summer NAMM show that was in Austin, Texas. This would have been about that time. And it sold fast.
Dude, we sold out of this like immediately. The demand was
I think it was another one that we oversold, and people kept asking, can you make more? Can you make more? Can you make more?
Right.
Now, I went and looked at the shipping records for this, and it was pretty evenly spread amongst all dealers. If I would have bet, I would have said that maybe Guitar Center or Musician's Friend bought a boatload. They didn't. I mean, they bought some, but it wasn't huge. Yorkville bought a bunch right up in Canada, and Japan went heavy on these.
Right. Yeah, look at it. It's crazy looking. And I think the logo, we actually, that's different. If you look at do you ever have a shot of the peghead face?
I don't.
Because we used an old Gibson font that I found from like a lap steel. I found it in the archives. It was like a Gibson was drawn like a real Art Deco look to it. And I had a silk screen made of that logo.
Oh.
And it looked it was like from the 50s, like a lap steel, Hawaiian steel from the 50s. And it had a really unique Gibson logo.
Wait, are you talking about the McCarty drawn one?
No, the McCarty drawn one was the tulip looking guitar.
Well, we used that on the Reverse Explorer.
What's that?
The McCarty Gibson logo we used on the Reverse Explorer in the Guitar of the Month program.
Maybe it was. I'm sure it was McCarty drawn, but it was. I thought it was from a lap steel. Is where we got it, or an amp or something.
You found that book. Logo.
Oh, I found all kind of stuff. I found the drawing of the lost one that didn't make it in the. In fact, they're making it now. We made one. I made one. I don't know whatever happened to it.
Well, that's what I'm talking about. It had the tulip guitar.
Yeah, and it looked like Marlo Thomas turned upside down.
And on the page opposite, on the opposite page were where those hand-drawn logos were.
Yeah, probably. I don't know.
But so after this, I'll find that logo and I'll put the picture in it here to see what it looks like. Yeah, I didn't grab a pic that looked like it.
Okay. But I'm pretty sure we used that weird logo. So the ones on the left are different, right? That's like, in typical Henry fashion, the first one sold pretty well. Like you said, we sold
People
out.
People were fighting over them, yeah.
And so that was the demand. Why you got that for week 29?
Well, because I want to caution people here.
Right, because it's not week 29.
These are not afterwards. Right. Those 3 guitars are not guitars of the week.
Right.
They came later. So
it's natural mahogany. We didn't do the Carina thing on that one. It's natural.
Yeah, we didn't want it to be the same exact color or color code because that kind of would have ruined the whole 400 limited edition run.
Right. We had to come up with the SKU for everything. So
right. We did classic white, ebony, and then I think that one's called natural. The guitar of the week is trans amber.
Right.
So, well, going back a minute, these were so divisive but so popular, and people kept asking us to make more. That the cash register starts ringing in Henry's ears. So he said, "Okay, let's do another limited edition of 3 different colors," and I think we doubled the price.
Yeah.
Or something outrageous like that, and they didn't move for shit. So
they all died.
But
right.
Frank, here's a cautionary tale. So as I was doing research for the show,
right,
I found that a lot of these naturals from this trio here are advertised as guitars of the week, but they're not.
Oh.
So I'm including a picture here of this serial number in the 200 range. This is about July. Right. That's a guitar of the week. If you start getting into the 300 digits here, or even into the 2008 serial numbers, that's this guitar over here. This is the later version of it.
Right. So and it might look amber now after the yellowing of the lacquer.
That's true, especially if you're a smoker. But
yeah,
seriously, Frank, I saw a bunch of completed listings in Reverb that were not truly guitars of the week. So, hey guys, just be careful out there when you're buying it. Make sure you're paying for the right one.
Yeah, call us. Send
All right. But yeah, man, people are still talking about this guitar.
Yeah, it was crazy.
And then final guitar for tonight. We've talked about this one a few times. The SG3 with the single coils. Well, of course, we did one in black.
Yeah, naturally.
Our tip of the hat to Clapton, I guess.
Yeah. A black SG, little single coil action. 6-way position switch, so you could get all the 5 like on a Strat, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then you get on the number 6, you got the neck and the bridge together. Which you can never do on a Strat.
Right.
That's what's the thing on that. You can get a sound that you couldn't get on the Strat with that pickup combination. So.
Yep. All right.
All right.
Well, that's what we got for tonight. So what we're going to do for the next 2 episodes, we're going to pick up the pace a bit and do a lot more guitars at once just to keep this moving. I don't want to drag it out to 12 different episodes for Guitars of the Week. So I don't want to bore you guys, but listen, appreciate you guys watching. You guys are reaching out to us, emailing, adding comments. It's great. Please subscribe if you like the show. We could use some more subscribers. That'll be awesome. Frank and I plan on continuing this for quite some time, so we're glad you're along for the ride.
Go Behind the Headstock with Kevin and Frank. Two ex-Gibson employees talking about guitars and the guitar industry with an inside perspective.